We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Ron Miller.
Present.
Chris Armstrong.
Here.
Mayor Franklin.
Here. Approval of minutes from the July 5th, 2012 meeting.
I'd make a motion we approve the minutes as presented for the July 5th, 2012 meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Approval of claims in the amount of $43,779.59.
I would move for approval of the claims in the amount of $43,779.59.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote on. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Approval of licenses. We have 2 this week. Jeff Fissel and Rick Hopper for electrical license.
Make a motion that we approve the licenses for Mr. Fishel and Hopper.
I second that. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? It passes on a vote of 3-0. Are there any changes to the agenda? Hearing none. Any old business? None on the agenda. New business. Mike Anderson, new building, parking, and right-of-way. Code Enforcement Officer Franklin.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As you know and are aware of, I'm sure, Mike Anderson Chrysler Dodge Supercenter, located on 3rd Street between Melbourne and Market Street, have submitted plans to our zoning department to construct a new showroom and auto service center. This will be located directly behind their current building. As part of that request, we did meet with the Logansport Development Review Board Tuesday of this week, and we discussed the project. They gave the project their blessing. As part of that project, Mike Anderson is requesting, actually Bill Thompson through Mike Anderson is requesting a approval from the Board of Works for part of their structure, not the building itself, but part of their use that they need. We'll take some of the right-of-way from the Melbourne Street side and the east-west alley. There are currently utilities located in that east-west alley. However, Bill has worked with Paul Hartman from the utilities, and they have came to a resolution of what they're going to do with that. I don't know what that project is going to entail, but I do know that it will not cause any problems for the construction of the building. If you look, in addition to the east-west alley, which is highlighted in the yellow, if you look on the south side, which is the bottom, there's another yellow area that's highlighted. This area will have 9 angled parking spaces in it. These 9 angled parking spaces will take just a small portion of the Melbourne Street right-of-way. They're requesting the use of that right-of-way. If you look to the immediate west of the angled parking spaces, there's a little blue square there. That little blue square will house their trash dumpster, and their intentions are to enclose that totally with white plastic fence that's 6 foot tall so it'll not be seen. There will be some use of public right-of-way there, particularly when the trash service comes to dump that. They will be in the street there. Not shown on this, and the building is actually the green area that's shaded in. That's the footprint and the size of the new building. On 2nd Street, which is the street to the west of the building, and then north of the east-west alley, right along that line there, they're going to put some shrubs and things there that may, we don't know for sure at this point, but they may infringe just slightly onto 2nd Street. You know, if we can go back over to Melbourne Avenue, just to the east or to the right on the diagram of the angled parking, you'll see one small rectangle and then a larger rectangle. These will be buffers And we don't know yet, but these may infringe on a very, very small portion of Melbourne Avenue. At this point...
On the right-of-way, not on the street itself.
Not on the street itself, just on the right-of-way, correct. Nothing is going to take up any of the street anywhere around it. At this point, I again want to remind you the Logansport Development Review Board did approve this plan on Tuesday night. I'm respectfully requesting approval from the Logansport Board of Works for the blessing of this project so that they can go ahead and get their final plans drawn and taken care of.
All right, thank you. Is there any questions from the board? Any questions? I have no questions. I would make a motion that we approve the request that's before us, considering the Mike Anderson Chrysler Dodge Supercenter.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed. Passes on a vote of 3-0.
Thank you. I do have a bigger diagram in my office if anybody'd like to see more clarity on it after the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Anthony DeHaven, Logansport Youth Baseball League. And Anthony is not here. Okay. We don't have any supporting documentation to go with this, so
There should be a letter in there, Ted, in your file. Well, just let me get you one.
okay. We'll just take yours.
Yep.
All right, thank you. I'll go ahead and read it for the record. My name is Anthony DeHaven, and I am with the Logansport Youth Baseball League here in town. I'm writing you because on July 25th through July 30th, we will again be hosting the 11 and, must be a typo, the 11 and year-old Ohio Valley Tournament at, I assume it's 11 and 12-year-old Ohio Valley Tournament at Fairview Park. We'd like to close Sam Taco Lane from July 25th through July 30th to help control parking within the park. The 25th is the most important date as we will be having activities in the park all day with a dinner at 5 o'clock and opening ceremonies at 7:30 at Crane Field. The plan will be as follows: close Sam Taco Lane at Biddle Street, and within the park in front of the Steinman Field we will divert traffic to enter the park on Clinty Street and park on the soccer field and behind Steinman Field. All exiting traffic will be sent to Taft Street and south to Sycott. Tournament officials and vehicles with special needs will enter on Sam Taco Lane. We will have a sheriff reserve deputies and man Sam Taco Lane and the entrance of the park at Clinty and Taft Street. Also on the night of July 25th, after opening ceremonies, we will have the sheriff's reserves helping with traffic at Taft and Sycott and Biddle and Clinty, and Sam Taco Lane and Biddle, and West Mildred and State Road 329. Sounds like they have a lot of help. We're trying to make this as smooth as possible for our guests to Logansport and trying not to inconvenience any of the residents of Logansport. This will be a great event next weekend. Thanks in advance for your help on this matter. Are you familiar with it? Okay. It's a street that runs basically from Biddle Street south to, it would run into the concession stand at Steinman Field, or the Babe Ruth Field. It's about a one-block area that's, well, here it is. There are no houses, there are no residential properties in the street that's to be closed.
And no garages, right?
No garages, no, all the property is either Little League property, Babe Ruth property, or Parks property. So, question? I'd make a motion that we approve the request.
Second.
Thank you. Based on history and that this is not a first-time event for these folks. I think they know what they're doing, and they do bring in a lot of folks into Logansport for the that week of the tournament. So it's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? Any comments? Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries on a vote of 3-0. Reports. Acting Building Commissioner Deb O'Connor. Good morning, Deb.
I did 3 building inspections this week, and we did 11 permits. I just want to kind of give you a heads up. I sent a letter to Jeff Murray asking him to appear in 2 weeks with a plan of action on all 5 of his condemned properties.
Okay. Have we heard response yet from Mr. Murray?
Not yet. no.
Okay. Is one of Mr. Murray's properties over here on 6th Street
Mhm.
by the alley?
Mhm.
I think the alley's now closed, is it
Mhm.
not?
Yes.
Okay.
I can add to that, Mr. Mayor.
I'm sorry?
I can add to that, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
We had a court hearing on that case involving that property earlier this week. We've got a new date in August. The judge has asked us to get an estimate from a contractor as to the cost of demolition, and we're to present that to the court and then ask for a ruling at the next court hearing. And I'm working with George and with Deb to get that done.
Okay.
I have 2 contractors that that looked at it yesterday,
Okay.
so I'll be getting quotes from them soon, I hope.
Okay, is there any questions for the acting building commissioner?
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes.
Does the board need to take official action on the temporary closing of that alley?
Sure. Can you give me some history on the building and its present condition?
It's been condemned for probably a couple years. It's deteriorating every day. I mean, from February till just last week, the rear corner has popped out. The roof is collapsed. The brick is cracked. I mean, it could,
In jeopardy of falling?
yeah, really, so.
I would make a motion that the board take formal action on temporarily closing the alley between 6th Street and 7th Street and between East Broadway and North Street. And that would be the alley that runs east-west. And we would close that until such time as either the court offers their ruling or until we have to take a more immediate action. If the building falls down, we'll have to clean it up. That is in the form of a motion.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Any questions for Deb? Okay. Do you have anything else in your report?
No.
Okay. I did make that motion as a single motion regarding, regarding the alley closure. So I think first we'll take a vote on closing the alley. It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes on a vote of 3-0. Now, to accept the building commissioner's report as is presented, I'd make a motion to do that.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? Call for all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, Deb.
Thank you.
All right. Code enforcement officer.
Your Honor, there is no code enforcement report this week. Everyone's tied up on the zoning with Mike Anderson.
Thank you very much. Make a motion to approve the code enforcement officer's report as presented.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Superintendent of Public Works. Hi, Mr. Williams.
Good morning. I would like to submit my report for the Public Works Department, which includes Mount Hope Cemetery and also the Logansport Street Department. If you have time, go through. As you can see, even with no grass growing, we're real busy doing things that hasn't been done in a long time. We're getting some comments from different neighborhoods where we're visible and we're out, and we have people coming out asking us to pick up little piles of sticks, and they're very thankful that we are doing this, and all of our workers are taking a little bit different approach to that, and it seems very positive.
Any questions for Mr. Williams?
I have none. I make a motion we accept his report.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
I'd like to add something to the report, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, please.
I've been working with Dan on we've got an unusual request from a woman who lives in Hawaii. She would like to disinter her father in Mount Hope and move him to a different location within the cemetery. I've required her to prove her relationship to that man, and she's done that. She's provided the necessary documents. I've then informed her, look through city ordinance, that it cost $1,000 flat fee to do that, and I've verified that through city ordinance and offered to send a copy of that to her. She has a date I think she would like it done by, and when I communicated the cost to her earlier this week, and I'm awaiting her reply. But working with Dan has been fantastic, and she's done a good job as well of working with him and him with her.
Thank you.
So everything has gone smoothly, and if she pays the price she needs to pay, the work will be done, and if she can't do it according to the ordinance, then it will not happen.
And will the reinterment be in Mount Hope Cemetery?
Yes, sir. Yeah, just moving from one location to another.
Been moved and properly seconded to accept the report from the Superintendent of Public Works. There's no further questions. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All
Thank you.
opposed? Thank you. Pass it on a vote of 3-0. Police Chief.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I have submitted my monthly report. Do you have any questions or concerns?
Operating while intoxicated.
Yes, sir.
Is that up a little bit?
It's up a little bit, yes, sir.
Did you have Operation Pullover going on, or?
No, we've reestablished our community resource team. We've had extra patrols out on the streets, and I think that's contributed to the numbers.
Okay, and I did read something cross my desk about some recent tagging, some spray painting that had taken place. Can you give
Yes,
us
sir.
an update on that?
Our gang task force is currently working on it. They've been interviewing suspects. I believe that all the graffiti has been covered up.
Do you know who covered it up?
They had some youth in the community have been working to do that,
Okay.
and it's hopefully by covering it up that it won't be added to by any other issues
Okay.
or subjects. But they have not made an arrest as of yet, but they're currently interviewing people, and hopefully that'll come soon.
Okay. Any questions for the chief? Your hiring process?
Hiring process, we have candidates that are waiting for PERF approval, Public Employee Retirement Fund, which is our pension. As soon as they're signed off, it'll be given to you and the Board of Works for review and make it official. But we have not got that approval yet. It is in their hands, and we're waiting on that.
Okay.
So, in addition to my report, I'd like to add that something I'm very proud of, our department has, in the last week to 10 days, we've had 3 life saves by our patrol unit. We were involved. There's other departments that were involved, fire department and such, but I'm very proud of that we were able to make a difference, and by the professional officers that we have, training and such, we're able to save lives. So,
Please extend my congratulations to all your officers that were involved as well. I know it's a really good feeling when you get to participate in one of those.
absolutely.
And we're happy for them as well as the other departments.
And something else that we're currently working on, this is the first time we've had it as a booth out at the Cass County 4-H Fair for the police department to try and build the public relations. We have all kinds of literature and balloons and stuff for the kids, and it's going over real well. People have been very receptive to it, and I think it's going to be rewarding.
Okay.
Chief, how many cars, police cars have those, I want to call them paddles in them for stimulating heart?
AEDs,
Yes.
they aren't assigned to a car. We have 5 AED units, and the guys take it out with them in the morning.
it's assigned
They
to the
come in.
officer?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
I make a motion we accept Chief Clark's report.
I'll second that. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of accepting the report as presented, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank you, Mike. Fire Chief.
Good morning.
Morning.
The first thing I have there is the retirement of Joe Rosie. He's been a captain on the department it's been on for 27 and a half years. He's really going to be missed. I'm already short one guy, so this will make us short two guys, but I do have appointments for the polygraph test next week over in Kokomo for two guys. So hopefully when I get that done, I can move on to the next part of it with the physicals, and then you can see it takes a long time at Perf, so department's using some overtime right now because we're going to be short. But anyway, Joe was a captain under me for 4 years when I was assistant chief, and he's a really good firefighter. He's going to be really missed at the fire department. As I'm sure you're aware, Mayor, he thinks you were one of the best pump operators he ever had.
I paid him well to say that.
Well, he said that again the other night. He said that to me many times. And then I wasn't able to attend last week, so I have quite a bit of stuff my monthly report isn't in yet. I didn't get my mileage from the co-op yet, but I'll have that next week. Like Mike said, we got to be lucky enough to participate in 3 EMS saves this week also. Within just like a 10-day period, which is pretty amazing. Just to get one is pretty amazing. To have, they actually had 2 in one day. Later that night, they had another one over on the south side that they did and got a save on, so that's pretty amazing. And I'd like to thank all the guys that was involved in that. And we are very lucky to have the AEDs and the police cars, and we have them in the fire trucks too, which is very nice. This week, the Fire Safety House was out quite a bit. It was up at the Spencer Park at that Storybook Festival, and we had over 150 kids go through it there, and it's been used quite a bit this summer. Wasn't here last week, so to talk about the fireworks. Fireworks went off without a hitch. Guys went over and wet everything down beforehand, and went back over again and stood by and stayed over there quite a while to make sure there wasn't any embers or anything. And we did not have a single fire caused by fireworks. So, and then Monday night we were out at the Cass County Fair, and we stood by there for fire protection from 5 to 11. They had fireworks out there too, which is even a lot drier area with a lot more fields, and everything went off without a hitch out there too. So another thing I'd like to report, I'd like to appreciate the board of
Superintendent.
The superintendent of Public Works and Safety, or whatever he's called.
Superintendent of Public Works.
But anyway, I've been able to, we cleaned up the alley behind the station there and got all the weeds pulled out of it, and then he came over with a sweet sweeper and swept that alley, which was really nice, and then he painted the curb for us, and I appreciate that. Also went up and got mulch this week at the cemetery, and just couldn't believe how nice the cemetery looked, so I'd like to pass that on to him. And I think that's all I have.
Any questions for the chief? I would like to say that regarding Joe Rosie, that he truly was a professional, and strangely enough, I fought my very first fire with Joe Rosie and my very last fire with Joe Rosie, and crawled in together on both of them, and he was a true professional, and he will be missed. I just hope we can find somebody equally as good as Joe, the way that he served the city the last 27 years, and he will be missed, and I do appreciate everything that he did for the city. He was a guy that you could count on and know that he's not going to bail out on you in a fire. He's going to be there as long as you're there. So good luck to Joe. And I'd like to make a motion to accept the chief's report as presented.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I would ask for a vote, or all in favor of approving the chief's report as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Are there any
Thank
board
you.
member comments?
None.
Thank you. Are there any visitor comments? Hearing none. Miscellaneous business, including any matters not already considered? There are none. Motion to adjourn?